Baggy jeans are coming back.
Jeans never left.
Baggy jeans.
Oh, baggy jeans.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I don't like these
Skinny jeans.
Skinny jeans. Hey, welcome to Front Seat Gamer. It's Blake here. This is episode 136. And Nick is not here today. He's having a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So congrats to Nick. But
He's already had a kid.
Yeah, he's already had a kid. I saw a picture.
I saw a video.
Oh.
Yep. And it was adorable.
Do we want to see a video?
Well, we
It wasn't the
No,
moment,
it was an after video. It was after the
I've seen one of those videos before. They're not good.
That's not a cool video. I don't get. Before we talk about video games, I don't get people that film the birth. Like, that's messed up, right? Nobody's gonna sit back and be like, oh, in like 10 years, be like, here, gather around, kids. Like, let's have family night and like.
me and Rosie, my partner, have had the same experience in a bubble where we were at someone's house and we were watching a VHS tape, and they were both taped like a show taped over a pregnancy video, and the show ended.
Yeah.
And then the pregnancy started.
Oh my god.
And it was just this front on fucking spread
No,
thing of
don't do
screaming
Don't do
and just traumatized. The whole room of kids
Yeah.
screaming.
People have been doing that before we had cell phones as well. Because people complain like, oh, when people go to concerts and they just spend the whole time like filming it.
Yep.
Like, and we have such a culture of like, got to film every single like moment.
Mm.
Like, people have been doing that even before cell phones. Like, being like, we need to film this birth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a camcorder.
With a giant camcorder, getting right up in there,
Plugged in at the wall.
Plugged in at the wall. I don't get it. Anyway,
Yep.
we're a video game podcast, and today we're joined by Dane.
Yep. That's me.
And Severn,
Oh,
as
hey.
usual.
Oh
yeah.
shit, Severn's here. What?
Yeah. So Dane, you've been on before.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about what you do for any new listeners we might have?
Yeah, I'm just a 3D guy at GGG. I make the weapons and whatnot.
Yep.
Blacksmith.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Resident Blacksmith.
I reckon you should change your title at work to blacksmith.
Yeah. I should get one of those little triangle wooden things with a
Yeah.
little placard thing on it.
One of those little desk Toblerones.
Yeah,
Mm.
desktop ones.
And an anvil.
Yeah.
And an anvil. You can get a
Yeah.
real anvil in.
Yeah, dude, I would totally be down for that. Just to have my desk raised up on two anvils.
Oh my god. Yeah, that would be so cool. Where do you even get an anvil
I don't know.
in modern days?
They're around. They gotta be around.
They got to be around. Yeah. So we have just released a trailer for PoE 2. Do you guys want to talk about that? Because Dane, you did a bunch of new weapons that have never been seen ever before.
A bunch of armor pieces that fell off the back of the truck and no one put them on.
Oh. So you working on stuff that didn't get shown?
Yeah, I was crunching for ages because they were like, I got all these showcase issues for like, all the gear's still Act 1. We need Act 2 stuff. We got to have cool helmets and boots and shit. I was like, sweet. All right, I'll make a bunch of cool helmets. Made a fucking heap of them. Not one was fucking equipped. I don't know what happened. Someone didn't tell someone that we had new shit, I guess, and they were still using
There's a
it.
lot going on, man.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. But
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, man.
We got a lot to show. What do you do though?
Like, I'm watching the item drop on the ground. I'm like, just pick it up. It's right there. Just put it on. It looks cooler. Fuck.
Yeah, but we got a lot like stuff you can't be like. Here's every single piece of armor.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would like kind of show that really.
What do you mean?
Well,
Hummus?
Yeah. Well, I mean, because if you've worked on dozens and dozens of them, you can't really show every single piece in a trailer.
Yeah.
You know.
Even when they're showing off the spear, the shield they were using was an Act 1 shield.
Oh,
I'm
really?
like, come on, man. There's
Yeah,
some
at least
fucking Act
do
2
that.
ones. God damn it.
Yeah.
Had some big, cool tower shields and shit.
But like, I bet they didn't know. They probably just were like,
Yeah, I
"This
don't
is a
think they
cool
knew.
shield. Like, let's just use this."
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Did you make that shield though?
I made all the shit. Any weapon that's
yeah.
in PoE 2 is me.
Whoa.
Basically.
You are the weapon guy.
And all the league uniques are me as well.
Yeah.
Every time there's a
That's
league.
that's insane.
Uh,
I actually didn't know that.
various bits and bobs, amulets and rings and shit.
Yeah.
I think every league there's like just a fuck ton of uniques that get made, and they're kind of just like, I think a lot of them are like reskins or
Yeah.
kind of mods of old ones. But
Yeah.
any new one that's like new art is probably me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't realize that you do all.
Yeah,
that
I
now.
kind of wish I didn't do all the league ones so I could actually work on Pee-wee 2 a bit more.
Stop.
Everyone wants to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stop doing such a good job then.
You need an apprentice.
Yeah, you need an apprentice blacksmith.
And I'm always a bit downer when I look up people's reactions to like say the gear or whatever. I was like, because I was hoping people would start noticing trend like, oh shit, dude, all these uniques every league starting would be pretty cool.
Mm.
And it's always just like, dude, that number is so trash.
Yeah.
That number, look at that number, dude.
Yeah.
Throw it in the bin. Worthless.
Yeah. I know that's the thing. Players really just love the stats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
But that's the game. So
That's why I feel like I need to talk to the game designers more and just find out, dude, what is the fucking Uber thing you're making? Because I need to put all my effort into that.
Yeah.
So that,
Yeah.
So it's just a double whammy of coolness.
That's what needs to happen.
Yeah, because
What broken shit are
Yeah.
you making?
Yep.
you don't want to be putting all your effort into making this really cool thing and then find out that it's not even like
some
Worth equipping.
yeah. You're like, oh, this is a vendor trash basically, and you're like, man, I spent like ages working on this thing. Yeah.
yeah.
What's the what's the thing you are, I guess, most proud of for PoE 2? Or
Oh, dude, the HUD. You can't not see. You
yeah,
worked on that as
the
well.
new HUD is pretty cool. I mean, I didn't have heaps to do with it. It was more as I was kind of getting the process and how the whole workflow would go for the modeling and the baking and the texturing and all that sort of stuff. Kiara was mostly doing the modeling, and some of it's also still Alex's stuff. It's kind of a bit of a mishmash of stuff that was done. And, yeah, it'll probably still keep changing.
yeah.
But yeah, that stuff's pretty cool. Just the interaction between all the lighting and the environments and stuff. People seem to like notice it off the bat, which was cool.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I was worried if people would even notice it.
I did see some comments like, "Oh, same UI, I haven't changed since 2013." I'm like,
Yeah, dude.
They are
"Dude,
not looking at
open
the
your
UI.
eyeballs."
The reaction I saw was, "Whoa, they got boss health bars."
Oh
Yeah.
that's a big one. Yeah.
I have a weird thing with that boss health bar because it's at the top of the screen, but at the bottom of the screen where the orbs are, there's this like trench above the XP bar that's like nothing there.
Oh,
I feel like the boss health
Oh,
bar
should fit right in there.
would just fit right in there.
Mm.
And I'm like, it's just nice and clean, and you keep all the screen.
I mean, it is also closer to the health and stuff, so you'd probably look down and
Yeah, you'd
see
be
it a
looking
little
at your
more.
health and their health all kind of
Yeah.
all in one thing.
It's interesting. I don't
Just an
know.
idea for
It
anyone
can be
listening.
moved around, so I don't know.
Wait, does D2 do that?
I don't know.
Oh, so,
That's a big
yeah.
question.
If yeah,
Well,
won't happen if.
well,
they don't do
I
it.
know in Souls the boss health bar is down the kind of
Yeah.
bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
But Sekiro, it's up top. Kind of depends. It's like it depends.
Sekiro's a later game.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that was more of a. They kind of have two bars going on. Like down the bottom, you've got your posture thing, and up there, it's kind of a my
Oh.
thing, their thing kind of setup in Sekiro.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, it's all looking really cool.
Yeah, it's that HUD when that got in the game, I just ran around looking at it, reflecting off stuff. It's
Mhm.
very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things that like when I heard that this is what we were gonna do, I was like, it's not gonna that'll be a neat thing.
Mm.
But like once it's actually in, it's like, man, this is incredible. I really like this.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Why aren't more people doing this?
Yeah.
It's very, very. It's not super tricky. I mean, it's just normal maps and whatnot, like any
Just
other
normal maps, yep.
assets.
Yeah.
It's just on the HUD.
Yeah. It's cool. It's really great. I think the trickiest thing, right, is that like it's a HUD, so it has to line up with a bunch of like
Yeah.
2D things and
Oh yeah, screen resolution.
yeah, and screen resolution. So I guess that's the most trickiest thing.
Mm.
but the actual process, right, is just the same as any other asset
Mm.
when you really like.
Yeah, pretty much. It's
Yeah.
just- I mean, there's probably going to be some fancy stuff going on with various liquidy things, or who knows. But you know,
Yeah, I have heard some stuff
I don't want to say too
About
much.
liquids.
about liquids. I have heard about liquids.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. The funny thing is, I noticed that when I was running around and looking at the reflections and stuff,
Mm.
it really makes the potions like stand out as just static 2D
Well,
icons.
Those will
Oh.
probably get a similar treatment.
Oh.
If that happens, it's like it's gonna look incredible. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Sav, do you want to talk about what you've done on the trailer stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually don't know too much off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Because I was sort of in the background, but not,
Yeah.
like, I wasn't in charge of, like, a specific area or
Right.
anything.
Yeah.
It's hard to think of anything right now.
I would say your like quality polish hammer of this is crap, make it look
Yeah.
better is probably all over everything,
It-
right?
Oh, no. Got away from me. There's too much. But I was involved a lot initially. Kith was one of those areas.
Oh
There's
yeah.
a lot of stuff
yeah.
in the background there.
Oh cool. Yeah.
There was a lot of like polish and performance stuff at the end.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot of recent stuff that happened
Yeah,
for gameplay.
the spear one was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, that kept
Because I
going
made
back and forth.
I made the spears a while back, and it was like, just make them like the other weapons, just weapons, triangles and textures, and
Yeah.
then like, oh no, they got to split up, and then it was this, and then it was that, and it was like, oh yeah, we're gonna throw out a thing where about 100 of them come out of the ground.
Mm.
I was like,
Oh yeah, they had to be redone.
yeah, and we had to sort of tweak them and fix them.
Was that because the poly count all
Yeah, it
stacked
was-
up and it's just
yeah, it
like
was-
way too high?
Yeah, and
Because of the way it was being used.
Yeah.
and
yeah.
this unique spear that has this like physics a little bit on it, and they were just throwing
Oh,
100
right,
of
yeah.
them out of the ground,
Uh-oh. Yeah.
and they were like, this is performing quite bad. You know?
Yep.
Yeah. That's funny, right? Because that's just like programmers and designers taking a thing that already exists and be
Mm.
like, oh, cool, we'll just use this for this skill,
Just
and then it's
boom.
like. It's this like crazy dominoes effect of like, oh, it's actually like really bad for performance to use this thing. We
Mhm.
have to make something like special for it.
Mhm.
Yeah, that. Yeah,
There was also no vocabulary on how to deal with that. So
yeah,
there was some pretty cool stuff happening between effects,
Mm.
me, Dane, to get them to do what they do.
yeah.
'Cause they do something pretty special when they hit an enemy or a wall or something.
Oh,
they-
yeah.
they do something pretty cool.
Wait, what did they do?
They shatter, but the way they shatter is like quite cool. It's like done entirely in the material.
Oh, cool.
And we do various things with the models and just the way it's set up.
Yeah.
To do that easily.
So like
Ah.
the spear head will remain jammed in, but the
Yeah.
rest of the spear will shatter. And
Oh,
if it's
cool.
like wood,
Yeah.
it's set up to break a better woodish way than a
Mm.
metal thing.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
things like that no one probably would ever notice.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
And that YouTube compression would probably chew up.
Yeah.
Dude, YouTube compression hates our game. That's one thing I've noticed.
Yeah. That's
Other
such a
games
bummer.
kind of like, yeah, well, it's fine, it works.
Mm,
But
yeah.
the
Yeah.
ground and everything is just
do we have to like film it in 8K so that it's like compressed
might
down to
have to.
4K or something? Like, what do we do?
But yeah, a lot of people were involved.
Yeah.
Felipe, Dr. Alex
Oh yeah.
got in on that too. Yeah, so it's really cool.
Yeah.
And now it's a thing. Like initially from designers, it just sounded quite vague and it actually didn't make any sense.
yeah, no, it was all over the place in
Mm.
the beginning.
But yeah, it's all good now.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That
that's
like
great.
you say, it's like, oh, one of those things no one will notice. But I think like people do subconsciously kind of
When you play it, I
notice
think-
these things.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then it's one of those things that's like when it's if you were to take it out, they'd be like something's missing, and I
Mm.
don't know why. Like these spears don't feel as impactful as they used to.
Yeah,
like-
all that impact stuff is really important to me.
yeah.
Yeah, just hitting something and seeing your, leftover whatever of what you did on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're doing a lot of drawing big canyons now,
Yes.
so that's fun.
That has been a real performance challenge.
Yeah, it is.
Are you talking about the part with the big gates and the giant
Gates
canyon and
Gates is massive, and
Mm.
yeah, I think I spent the last couple of weeks on that. So yeah, it's a lot of refining and polishing. I think we'll get some new tech at some point,
Yeah.
because there was a thing that I thought we could do that we still can't do
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's just not quite there yet.
Yeah.
But I think we can use that.
This is going to be super vague, but I think we can use that in places where you can't, like in places other than the canyon, because of the way the canyon works, right?
No, you can't.
You can't.
Yeah, we will talk about it. Like, man, yeah, it is very vague.
It's very vague. It's like we're talking inside baseball and not letting anybody know.
Yeah. But that's
Cool.
That's something I think a lot of people like seeing as well.
Yeah.
Just a lot of height difference
Yeah,
in environments.
It's great. Like I remember when we were working on aqueducts, and we had that like stuff in the distance, and it just made the whole thing like look so much cooler.
Yeah, that you're on something high.
Yeah. And now with like the depth of field, like it like adds to it as well, and like
Yeah.
yeah.
There's so much cool tech that happened. Like depth of field.
That depth of field, like honestly, I didn't even it's in the main game. And I didn't even know that this was a thing until I played the game one day, like the actual game here at home, and was like, "What the hell? Where did this depth of field come from?"
Yeah,
I didn't even know we were doing that. And
yeah, like everything in Path of Exile art-wise, it's Dane knows this. You have to make a pretty big push to convince everyone around you that it's a good idea, so that people sign off on it.
And then once it's in, they're kind of like, oh yeah, this just makes
Yeah,
sense.
We always
made
wanted it. Yeah, it's great. But yeah, that depth of field like really makes that that canyon, that gate area like just feel bigger.
You kind of need it.
Yeah, you kind of need it. Needed it for like hiding things as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works well in on a lot of different levels.
Yeah, because I remember we were worried about like when you could clearly see the bottom and you could clearly see where the canyon in the distance intersects with the ground, and you're like, it doesn't really look that great, and it's like, we're gonna have to put rocks down there, and we're gonna have to like cover it and stuff.
Yeah, introduce more geo.
Yeah, which is just more stuff to like add to the the performance, and then the depth of field is just like, don't worry about it, it's just all blurred. You don't see any of it.
It kind of makes sense because like for a top-down game to do a lot more with that crazy height below you, because like other games can't. Like if I'm playing a third-person game and I'm just walking along and you see a pit, you can look down it, but it's always kind of like it's better suited just for that whole distant thing.
Yeah,
huge gigantic building in the distance that goes up, kind of thing. But our game can,
we can only go down. We can only look down.
You can only look down. So like having shit that you just go, whoa, that's fucking deep.
That was this was a struggle with Chamber of Innocence, like with the tall. I remember we wanted like tall stained glass, but like you can only go so high. So how do you get like the grandeur thing? So we ended up doing like you go up some stairs, and then the stained glass goes down like thing. So you try to get like the tallness by going down.
Yeah,
it's like it was like a real. It's like a real just challenge that the game has always had, is that you can't show grandeur going up. Like that shot in the trailer of the gates like up close like that, and you're looking up at it.
Yeah,
like you never get
shot.
You never get that. You never get that. You're only gonna ever look down on these things. Like so, you have to make it look grand, but still you're looking down on it.
That's a really cool way to deal with it, though, with Chamber of Innocence.
Yeah. Now though, we have this tall wall stuff, so we'll just
do that.
We'll just do that. But then if I did both, it's like extra tall. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's cool. I haven't actually looked too much at the actual reaction of people for the trailer. Except like that one video that you sent me of what's his name, Asmongold reacting to it, and he's just like swearing.
That was a great reaction.
It was great. Yeah.
There's one thing I think that does happen is if it's like in a field of games, because Walson's coming out a little while back now.
Yeah.
D4's showing off stuff. It suddenly gets this like zeitgeist thing where people see things that happen in the various games, and they kind of just, and then they go, oh yeah, that's just normal now. And so when Pee-wee, if we show off this big gigantic thing in the distance, maybe diehard Pee-wee guys would be like, oh wow, well, they're doing this shit, but other people would probably just be like,
it's common in ARPGs.
Yeah, this is common now, isn't it?
You're like, that's a normal thing.
Normal thing.
Yeah, man, the performance though. Yep. So
I mean, that's always the challenge.
Yeah.
But
man, Dan, you had a big boy character as well in there.
Yeah, big boy. You see him for a little bit.
Yep. What's that?
Big guy with the glowing red thing.
Oh yeah,
I almost don't want to say the name of stuff because it's so
Yeah.
But yeah, you see him for a little
bit. In that trailer. He's
looking
very ominous.
He's like one of your...
He's the only like enemy. Well, actually, there's another guy, but you won't see him yet. He's not till later. But he's like the first boss that I've had anything to do with, which is cool.
Yeah.
Me and Ashley basically tag teamed that thing. Yeah. She did all the stuff that I can't do, and I did the stuff that she's just not comfortable with. So it's kind of like, it's an asset that I wouldn't have made by myself, and she wouldn't have made by myself. And so I don't think anyone would have come up with the exact configuration of how that guy looks, which is kind of cool. So he's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a cool shot in the trailer of you just like, what is that thing?
It's cool. I really wanted that in the trailer because it's just good for variety to show, like, rather than everything being like little guy explode, little guy, you go, well, the big guy was a fucking big guy. It's like, Gates.
Big guy doesn't explode.
Yeah,
big guy. He doesn't explode. He's got that one glowy eye though.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just variety stuff like that in trailers is always cool.
Mm.
Like whenever I see a trailer for a Souls game, they're always like, "This giant frog, fucking samurai guy, oh, what the fuck, a huge snake." It's just like constant shit. And it's like, keep you on your toes. So when the game comes out, like, dude, when am I running into this giant snake? I saw
it.
Did they ever explain bosses in Dark Souls?
Yeah, they do. It's just they usually just make shit cool and then make up the story afterwards.
Right.
They kind of just
lore objects kind of thing.
And they kind of retrofit it to, like, you found this item here and because of this blah blah blah, and
there's a lot of out of game lore.
Where stuff is placed is kind of how they tell the story, really.
Okay.
Where you find an object and where you find this item.
But that game has a very dreamlike quality to it. Like the way that the world is, especially 3. Like, because 3, like, well, 1, you're going through this like very all connected world, and it feels like this is a place. But then like 3, it feels like it's a bunch of places all stuck together, and you're like, none of this makes.
It basically is.
None of it makes like sense of how any of it like was working together. Like,
well, it's funny because at the time when I played that before being at GG, I was like, man, this area is clearly just stitched onto this one. They fucking made this shit up while they're going along.
Yeah.
And then being at GG, you sort of see how that happens with development, where the people just go like, this ain't working anymore. Fuck, we gotta get this going. Chop chop. Just smash that area onto this one.
Or sometimes an area in between can be cut because you're like, oh, this is an area that's basically a lead up to another area, and you're like, there's nothing really here.
They cut it.
Just cut it, and now it's just like you just go from one area straight into another.
Yeah.
So like things like that can be weird.
Like the final boss in Dark Souls. Sorry, one of the mid-game bosses in Dark Souls 3 was actually the final boss at some point, and he's still called some shit like final boss or something in the files.
But then it makes it like that works with Dark Souls so well because it does have that strange dreamlike thing where it like you're not sure if this world was ever like actually real, or if it's just like some conversion of different worlds together. So it's something being called final boss in the middle of the game just kind of suits it
because he's still one of the hardest ones.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny.
What boss is that?
This guy called Pontiff Sullivan. He's this guy with 2 swords. He's got like a glowing, flamey one and like a
in the church.
In the church.
Oh,
he was originally
that was a good fight.
He was originally going to be the final boss.
Ah.
and this other guy was going to be the first boss, and
Yeah.
he becomes another late game boss.
Oh, weird.
The whole game got shuffled around, and at the time I was like, man, how does this happen in development? How does like? And I get it now. I totally get it.
Yeah. Things get shuffled around.
Yeah.
So talking about Dark Souls, are you able to talk about the work you did on the Demon Souls remake?
Yeah, I can talk about.
Yeah, you're not going to get in any legal trouble?
Nah.
I mean, it's out. Like,
it's
what
out.
else? Like, what legal trouble could you get
I mean,
into?
I obviously wouldn't be able to say anything that would be like, oh, players shouldn't know about that.
Yeah.
But
I guess we could start with there was an armor set that you made that is insanely hard to get for the player.
Yeah, I didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
Because I actually asked the guys, because I was like, because I made this boss called Penetrator. And they were like, and I actually told them, I was like, it'd be really cool if you could get his armor, because in the original game, everyone wanted it, but you couldn't get it. And it was like, and then they ended up actually doing that in some super secret fucking hidden thing where you had to collect these items that you had to play the game mirrored to find them. Like there's this mirrored mode where you play the game where everything that was left is now right kind of shit. And these items appear everywhere, these little coins, and you gotta fucking hunt them down, and they're in these really fucking random, hard to reach places. And you gotta complete like 2 game cycles.
Yeah, because when you're saying you only get so many coins,
there's like you need 20 something, and there's only a max of 13, I think, in the game. Originally, people could only find 8, and it was like, and people had to beat the game 3 times to get enough or whatever.
Wow, okay.
And then it was like, no, dude, we found more. And I was like, dude, there's more. And like, so dudes were scouring.
It's like a crazy treasure hunt.
Yeah, because it was one of those things with the internet, you know, like usually with a game, people just data mine it and they find everything. And then, dude, I check the files. Here, it's all here. This is where you find them. Whereas in that, because it was like a PS5 only game, it's like no one can hack that shit yet. So it's like people had to find that shit. Some dude had to like hug the walls, fucking break every barrel.
Yeah, just like hit every blank wall to look for.
Yeah, just
look for
dude,
secrets.
maybe this, maybe that, and it was it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And when I did it to get the armor, it was like 11, and people were like, nah, that's it. We found them all. I'm like, nah, dude, look at this. Look at the numbering of how many you found per area. I'm like, there's this one area that no one found one. Like, there's got to be one. There's got to be. And they're like, no, we've looked, can't find it. And then someone fucking found it. Everyone's like, fuck. It's a funny thing.
So you got to play through the game how many times to get enough coins?
You need to beat the game once, and then the second playthrough you can get enough coins in that one.
So you can get enough through
you
one.
You don't have to beat
playthrough?
The end of the game.
Yeah,
you can beat the game. You just have to see the final boss or whatever once, and then you have to play through the second game.
Yeah.
The game again harder.
Yeah.
But you can get enough.
And then you get enough just through that one playthrough. Because I think last time you talked to me about it.
2 playthroughs, basically. But you don't have to get to the end of the second.
Oh, okay. Because I think I remember last time you telling me about this.
I had to do 2 full playthroughs and start on a third.
Yeah, you said it was like 2.5 playthroughs to like get enough coins.
And it was hard, dude. There was like, because the Demon Souls is a prick for difficulty. Like they bitched out after Demon Souls. Like for the new game plus.
Yeah.
You like, there's this area with these lava dogs. You go up this is in this lava area, and there's like these narrow wooden walkways, and these fucking 2 little asshole dogs like fucking run out. Yeah. And normally in the normal run through the game, you're like, I'll just deck these dogs.
Yeah.
And then by the third one, I was like, this dog just took off all my health in one little like.
Oh man.
Do they get harder?
Yeah, the whole game, like the damage and everything, just gets ramped up. But it's cool because suddenly everything feels real dangerous again.
Yeah.
This one fucking dude, he was like, I'm real scared of his sack. I don't want his sack to hit me.
Yeah. They're like what useless zombie skeleton guys at the start.
Guy with a little sack, and you just you know.
Man. So okay, so you get all the coins, and then what?
And then you can take them to this crow's nest, and there's this crow that talks to you, but you don't ever see it. All the games have a crow that you give items to, and then you get an item back from it. You don't actually see it; you just hear it. It's like an invisible crow. It just has this annoying chirpy voice.
Okay.
And in Dark Souls, in Demon Souls, you have to drop the item, then exit the game, and then come back in, and there'll be a new item where that was. And,
what the fuck?
And almost every item can be dropped there in some. Well, not every item, but the bird will be like, if you put an item that's not going to trade, it'll be like bad, not happy.
Oh.
like when you put something there that can trade, it'll get all happy and shit. They've had that in all the games.
I remember that from Demon Souls, Dark Souls 2. I think I found.
Dark
I never
Souls
found
2.
that in 1 though.
Yeah, it's in 1. It's at the very beginning in the tutorial.
Huh.
You like walk around this weird edge.
Yeah.
There's this little bird's nest, and you stand in
wow.
it, and then you hear this voice. There's no bird there.
Yeah.
It's like this invisible fucking bird somewhere. I don't know. But you basically trade all these coins to this bird nest in Demon Souls, and then you exit the game, come back in. There's a key there.
That is nuts that you have to exit the game, right?
Yeah,
that is insane.
And you pick up the key, and then you have to go to this area of the game where the boss is.
Yeah.
That you get the armor from. And they added an invisible wall that wasn't in the original Demon Souls. There's no invisible walls in Demon Souls. That's a Dark Souls thing. But they added one in Demon Souls, and it was like at the end of this weird alley. It's on the way to somewhere else, and usually there's just an item pickup, and you pick up the item. But then if you attack the wall behind it, the wall goes, and then there's this little doorway with a door in it, and the door says, locked. And everyone's like, "What the fuck is this locked door?" And then it took like a few weeks for people to finally get into the door. Speedrunners were trying to hack their way in.
Yeah, trying to roll in through it.
Do all their like collision out of bounds crap.
Yeah.
They just put a gigantic collision box around the whole thing. You could not get in. They already accounted for all the dudes breaking out of the game, which is pretty great. Dudes were like standing like just above it, like it's there, it's right there. They're like walking on the sky above it, like dude, I need it. They're trying to get in there and they couldn't.
Wow.
They had to get in there legit. Which is pretty great. But then they finally got in there, and then you can open the door, and there's like a corpse on this bench, and you pick it up, and you get the armor set and stuff.
God, and that's the armor set you made for the boss.
I made the boss. The armor set would have been done by some other in-house.
Oh yeah, but it's like based on the armor you made.
They took the boss model and like they would have like
cut it up
and shaped it and made it fit the player size and all that sort of stuff.
That's insane, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty cool because it was a surprise to me because I was asking them if it was in the game, just tell me how to get it because I need to take shots for my portfolio or whatever. And they're like, "Oh, it might be in the game." I didn't know. I wasn't aware at the time. That was the point of the whole secret. So if they told me outright, that would have been pretty sketchy.
Well, if they told you outright,
I could have just been walking around with that shit. And then these streamers would have been like, first in the world to find it. I was like, actually, this guy who, but he's the guy who made it. This is some bullshit. Insider trading.
Oh no.
So yeah, they couldn't tell me about it.
That's
so I had to go and get it just like everyone else.
Yeah.
Which is pretty.
I remember you
great.
trying to get it. You I think you set yourself there was something.
I set myself a weekend. I was like, I gotta get ready because I gotta beat this game fucking twice.
But you had a schedule because you wanted to like release your like your ArtStation drop along with I think everybody else or something that had worked on that. So you basically were like, I need to get this by this date.
Yeah.
And it's this insane quest to like collect, like beat the game 2.5 times.
Yeah, it was because I did a remaster or remake of Shadow of the Colossus, and they added a similar thing to that where you can get a different sword in that or something in the remake. There was a bunch of coins in the similar kind of quest. So they did the same thing for Demon Souls, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I didn't realize though. I was still unsure what the thing in the secret would be, but I was like, it's got to be armor, and it has to be my guy because it's in the area where his boss is. So, and it turned out to be the case, and I was pretty stoked on that. But yeah, like, everyone just wears that now as like a trophy thing of like, dude, I fucking did it.
Wow. Is there a thing of like how many playthroughs did it take to get it? People are like, it took me 1 playthrough.
Yeah.
And other people are like, what? Took me 2.
Well, the crazy part is because the item pickup exists in your first playthrough. It's there.
Oh yeah.
You can't get it.
Huh.
It's in there. And so I'm wondering if someday someone will figure out how to get it in the first playthrough without getting all the keys and all the coins. And maybe there's some fucking way to get more coins in one playthrough. But
yeah, maybe
it seems like you got to do 2.
Maybe you should just dump every item you have in that crow's nest and then log out and see what happens.
But yeah, it's crazy because you have to play the game mirrored. The items only appear when using the mirrored mode. So all the veterans that are used to the game and the muscle memory of like turn here, go here, jump down there, it's all fucked up. It's all messed up, so they were just dying all over the place. Dude, he's not here. He's you gotta run left now. Like they'll run around the corner and then they go, and then they go the wrong way, and then it messes with your head. So it was pretty funny. I died so much, and I'm like, dude, I know this game. I'm dying so much to rando dudes.
So you play through the game normally, right? And then when you play through a second time, does it have to be in that mirrored mode?
No. You got to play in mirrored from the get-go.
Oh, really?
You start the game, a new game, you got to go straight to mirrored mode because the things appear in mirrored mode. You can change it back to mirrored mode to normal whenever you want, but the items only appear in the mirrored mode, so you got to run through the game. That is
nuts.
So you got to play the game like where...
So many hoops to jump through to get a thing that you
because they added the mirror mode in.
Yeah.
It was always in from the beginning. But people were trying to find the coins without it, and they're all trying to find some kind of item without it, and they're like, we can't find anything. There's nothing in the game. What the fuck? And I remember... because people must have found them because people were playing with the mirrored mode from the get-go because like the game came out and people were immediately like, dude, I've played this game before. I'm going to go straight to mirrored mode.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing messages in random corners and people were just like, here. And I was like, there's nothing here. And this was before anyone found any coins. Right, so someone was actually finding them. And they just didn't know what they were.
Yeah.
Just some random guy in Minnesota. He's just playing through the game. He's like, dude, what's that?
I reckon it was probably an insider guy as well.
It might have been an insider guy.
All insiders.
Leaving clues around.
Yeah. You could just mess with people and put signs in random places that just say, it's here.
Oh, dude, I do that all the time. As soon as the game came out, there's this famous hole that has this like weird mystical light stuff.
Yeah.
You think it's like something there, like, oh, if I walk in there, it's like, you just die. It's just a bait. But so everyone always thinks, do I drop down there? And I just went as soon as the game came out, I got the fucking game from EB Games. I ran up to my place. The PS5 turned up not 10 minutes after. Plugged it all in, start the game, and I was on a mission to get the message there in front of that hole to tell you jump in the hole, and then I just about an hour later I went back there, and there's just bloodstains all around the thing.
You just sit there and watch the bloodstains show up.
I was literally watching them appear. Like I was like, something like. Try hole blacksmith ahead or something like that. So people were like, dude, there's a blacksmith down that hole. I'm gonna jump down there.
So good.
It's pretty funny.
What's the best message you've seen in any of those Dark Souls games?
Best message. There's so many good ones. Like there's always the classic one where there was this like in Dark Souls there's this part where you meet this giant woman, like she's a huge lady laying down. She's got a massive rack. And people would put a message before we open the door, big chest ahead.
Yeah. That's the one I always go to is just like huge chest ahead. And then you're like, oh, cool. And then you open it and you see this woman in front of you and you're like, I get it. So well, good on you. I'll thumbs up that message.
My other one, probably my favorite ones are always the same kind of one, but there'll always be the corpse bent over a railing and you pick up an item off it or something. And someone will leave a message that will be something like, try butt hole.
Yeah. I've seen that one. There was one I saw that said something like, it said something like time for man butt love.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
But of course, like the butt is spelled B-U-T, like because you can't actually put any like rude words in it. It's all just like jumbled up. You can only have a selection of words, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the cleverness is in like
trying to use those to make something funny.
That's great. We haven't talked about what we've been playing.
You haven't talked about what you worked on.
I haven't. Oh, what I worked on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I worked.
Your shit's like the star of the show, really. The environment guys, like what you see 90% of.
Yeah, I'm so stoked with like how all the environments have turned out, and it's been really cool. Like especially over the last few months of seeing everything actually come together.
Yeah. Like
all of last year, things were like chipping away, but it all really like came together in like the last few months.
Yeah.
Especially the gates area that we were talking about, because just a few months ago that was like the least made area. Like
it looks to me that area looked the best.
Yeah, it ended up looking so good, and like Yeah, just around like just before Christmas, basically, it was like one of the least worked on areas, and like no one was like kind of owning the whole thing. Like someone was working on a bit of it, someone else was working on a bit of it,
Yeah.
and then like when we were like getting ready for the showcase, we all like got together and we're like, all right, we need to like this is like area, this is like triage, this is the worst state. This area is in the worst state. We all need to like get together and like work on it. And we had like 3 people working on the same area at the same time.
Yeah.
All working on different parts of it, and it came together like so quickly. And it looks like it's one of my favorite areas in the whole game now.
They used it for one of the main game playthrough.
Yeah. It looks so good, and I'm like just stoked with how that turned out because I was seriously worried about it.
Yeah, because I the last time I saw it was like gray box looking. It was just gigantic cube walls and like little weird signs with numbers and stuff on them and like weird dev stuff everywhere. I'm like, man, this area looks rough.
There's pink cubes all over the place, and like we were like, this has to. All the other areas were like much further along, and this was like the one that was like kind of lagging behind because no one was like fully working on it full time. But yeah, it was great. Like we all like pitched in and like got it up to a good standard, and it's like a really, really great area now. But the area I worked on, it's called Keth, and it's an inside dungeon that is in the trailer where there's a shot where the player is walking up a series of stairs, and there's all these like terracotta warriors all around. And they're all coming to life, and then they throw like these giant fireballs down. So I worked on that area.
It's also the closing shot.
Is it?
Trailer.
Oh yes, no, it is. Oh, it's also the thumbnail shot.
It was kind of funny because that bright light coming through the doorway thing. I remember when I saw that when I was running through that area. Like, oh, that's quite nice.
Yeah.
And then I guess someone else thought so too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this now because that shot in one of these chat groups, they were like, this is really great lighting, and I was like, I think this is a throwback to one of Eric's early concept images.
Oh, right.
Do you know the one I'm talking about? The witch standing in the doorway?
I don't even know if I've seen it.
Okay, I'll have to show you after.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a throwback shot. So
to when? How long ago did he?
When Eric did concepts.
Yeah, because that's a long time ago.
Yeah, so 2007.
Whoa, yeah, I don't know if I've seen that.
I'll show you the image. But it's in the Path of Exile art book, by the way.
Oh, okay.
If any of the listeners have that book.
I've got that right here.
Yeah, I could show you it.
Yeah, I'll bust it out.
Sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really I think that just embodies like ARPGs.
Yeah.
You know, the start of a dungeon.
Yeah, it's cool. And I remember going back and forth with Eric quite a lot on that area transition. Yeah, of like especially with the light, it was like too much light, not enough light.
Yeah.
Change the color of the light.
Yeah.
Now change the like, and it'll be like a week will pass and be like, I think we need more light now. And it's just like it was so like ongoing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a thing at Grinding Gear where you make an asset, but also environment settings change.
Yes.
Everything's
that's
in motion,
the thing.
right?
Yeah.
A lot of tech stuff happened.
Yeah. That's why I like working on enclosed dungeons because the environment setting is like always very dark, so minimal. You're in more control of the light. You can place, spotlights around, and you can set mood a lot easier, and you can have more control of how things look than in an area that's open, and you're like, oh yeah, this looks great, and then 2 weeks later, somebody's tweaked the.
It also feels more moody too, right?
Yeah, it also feels way more moody. Like it, yeah.
Dungeons.
I think that when the game looks at its best when you've got that combination of like massive shaded closed areas but then lit areas and stuff. I feel like the areas that are just completely just stark naked in the sun, they're just less
outdoor area.
Yeah, just any outdoor areas. It's just less appealing to me than like these massive canyons and things that can like just cast huge shadows and
it is contrast.
Just that contrast thing,
Yeah, you need that. Like there was a lot of so we've had a. I think he's been here a year now, Stan, the new texture artist. Say new, but it's like he's been here probably a year. Okay. And he worked on the sand a lot in one of those big outdoor areas.
I think a lot of them, right?
Actually, I'll say all the sand,
Yeah.
right? But it was like that particular one was the one that like really got him because that area is like vast amounts of sand, like, and it was for him. It was like trying to figure out how to get that like kind of contrast and interesting, like trying to make it look interesting, like while still like kind of just like being just blankets of sand, you know. I think he like nailed it eventually, but I remember every time I would go over to him, it looked a little bit better than the last time,
Cool.
and then it looked a little bit better than that next time. It was just like, I think he was saying like he added like bits of dirt in it and stuff to like
Cool.
just give it like some form, because I remember where it started off, it just looked like talcum powder. It was just like talcum powder, like, and it just wasn't. It was not interesting until you actually got to like the ruined sections. Like that was interesting, but then there's wider open areas where it's a lot of just sand, and that was like, what? This is not like that great. But yeah, he just kept iterating on it until it looked like really like, I don't know, like rough, grungy sand. Like it's the sand has been a challenge from the start. I think that.
Because there's so much of it.
There's so much of it, and like it's hard to get it right. Like that, it's very hard to get it right.
It gets in your eyes.
It gets in your eyes.
It gets everywhere.
It gets everywhere. I hate it. I can't wait till we're not dealing with sand.
The challenging thing, like internally, was that Act 1 was predominantly at nighttime and very dark. Did you get in on these conversations?
I don't remember.
It's like you can almost get away with more with darker areas because there's more to the imagination.
Yeah.
Whereas in well-lit areas, because everything's there and exposed, it's kind of harder to sell.
Yeah.
Because you have those things like you don't have these large shadows and things contrasting things. You have everything. It's very easy to have that uniform look because everything's lit the same way on screen at that 3/4 angle.
Yeah.
And so I think that latest trailer was challenging because, man, it's just hard to sell it like on scale for a game like ours.
Yeah.
This is like that T-Rex from Jurassic Park thing where the nighttime one so much better than the daytime one.
When they're wrestling velociraptors at the end.
Yeah. And when he busts out of the jungle and stuff, and there's a part where the T-Rex comes out, and it's just broad lit, and you're like, oh man, that looks way less good than the fucking nighttime, rainy, dark as hell, spotlights only.
This is why people like fight at nighttime in the rain in movies.
Yeah. A lot of movies, like you say, will have CG at night to hide. To hide it. That's why, that Godzilla from 97 or 98 or 7.
Oh, the coolest
It's
one?
all at night. All of Godzilla is at night.
Yeah.
The one with the worm guy?
Yes. Matthew Broderick. Yeah. The worm guy.
But it wasn't all at night.
It wasn't all at night, but
because he gets tangled in the bridge in the daytime.
That's at night.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, man.
I'm pretty sure it's at night.
Yeah, he killed a guy.
Matthew Broderick?
Yeah.
What?
No.
When? How?
In Godzilla?
No. he like car crash killed someone.
Oh no.
And he got off.
Oh,
that's called that Jenner person, right?
He was in Ireland or something.
Yeah.
He was in Ireland or something.
Oh my god.
Speeding in like a BMW or some shit,
no.
and he fucking killed someone.
Yeah.
And fucking.
That's why he's not doing movies
Ferris
anymore?
Bueller, dude. No, he's not going to jail.
Wow.
Pretty funny. Yeah.
Wow, that's
True
terrible.
fact.
But back to PoE. They've. I don't know if people have noticed this, but there is something that's been added to the game that helps with those those big daylight areas where like everything looks a bit uniform, and it's the clouds.
Oh, yeah.
We've got like moving clouds in it, and that was a thing when Stan was working on that like area with heaps of sand. He was always tweaking the shadow of the clouds to help get that like that contrast kind of thing, and that has just brought the whole thing to like a whole nother level.
It really
as well.
does help that.
Yeah,
just because you got these large surfaces of textures.
Yeah,
you try your best, obviously, to try and hide the tiling in that, but then having that bit of cloud cover just
breaks it up.
Yeah,
breaks
I mean,
it
it
up
just
nicely.
it sets mood without you really needing to do anything, because you like, I've seen it on on like the gates area. You'll be running through, and it's like clouds will pass over, and it just changes the feel of where you are, even though it's like this section is basically just the same as like a section you just passed through, but the clouds kind of make it feel different. Yeah, like it's I don't know. It also just makes everything feel more alive. You know, and everything's like less static. Yeah.
You get an idea that there's some kind of atmosphere or wind or motion or something.
Yeah. That stuff's cool.
Cartown's big.
Cartown is unbelievable. And that
Seeing that come to life.
Yeah, that was basically worked on by one guy. Well, modeled and stuff.
He's
a lot of
a dark
collaboration.
horse according to one person at work.
Yeah, he's a
a veteran.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah. But because he worked on. So we had a. Oops, bumped my mic. We had a shot in the ExileCon trailer of that cart town. That's not the same cart town, because that was like kind of almost thrown together for that one little shot.
Yeah, it was a version of it.
Yeah, it was like a version of it. It was not a complete, like, proper working, like, thing. And then Mike, the guy that ended up, he made that, and he then moved on to remaking it for Path of Exile, for the area, like, Act 2. And he's basically just worked on that since ExileCon. And
he's the cart guy.
He's the cart guy, yeah. He also did the Act 1 town.
Oh yeah.
So he's the town guy, yeah, and he's also working on.
Did you do Act 1 town?
Yeah, he did Act 1 town, yeah. But like, yeah, he's the cart guy. He's also working on some other cart related things as well, for
which might have been in the trailer.
Which
right?
Yeah, I guess it was in the trailer. Like, no, it was. It was.
I know it was.
I don't want to give away too much of what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, you know, what further on things will be, but
bad carts.
Yeah, there's the cart with the beast seed on, with the big nightmare looking thing. And so he made that. He put that thing together.
We got PoE cart now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm sure he'll move on to the next town. Like, he's just always the town guy. And it's funny talking to him too, because towns are so, like, self-contained. He doesn't have as much experience dealing with tiles as, like, other environment artists. So, like, I was like a couple of weeks ago, he comes up to me and he's like, how did, like, tiles, like, work? And, like, you know, I explained it to him and stuff like that, and he was like, oh yeah, okay, because, like, he's just working on one giant scene. Like, he doesn't have to worry about anything, like, lining up with anything.
Leave him to do that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he's perfect with. And he's like, you know, a like, well experienced person in the industry, and that the stuff he's doing here is similar to how he's worked on other projects. So he's doing what he's good at. Like, that's great.
I'd say that's probably why he's able to just run and gun and get shit going.
Yeah.
He's just, you know, it's like me with weapons. Someone asked me to make swords, like, dude, I'm gonna shit one out in about
yeah, I know.
a hot minute for you.
Yeah.
But if someone asked me, like, dude, can you, like, model an ear? I'll be like, dude, what the fuck? Don't ask me to do that.
Dude,
Excuse me?
Aren't ears, like, the most notorious thing to model? Like, I thought, like.
Oh, back in the day, yeah. You can drag out an ear now.
You just
can you?
Yeah, you can vector.
Oh wow!
I thought drag it.
Back in my day, when I was, like, learning 3D, it was like feet.
We learned at the same fucking time, fucker.
Yeah, we did. It was like feet and ears were, like, the notorious, like, hard to model ones. And I remember
feet,
yeah.
Not hands?
And hands. Feet and hands, and ears.
Not faces. Right?
Not faces. Faces were piss easy. I could do a face. I couldn't do an ear.
But when you're talking about it, you're talking about, like, subdivided modeling.
Yes. I'm talking about, like, from scratch.
Yeah,
like,
the old day of modeling.
Yeah. And I remember, like, in one of my classes, the tutor was, like, showing us this dude's website where every day he'd modeled, I think a hand.
Body part.
Yeah, a body part. Like I think it was a hand every day for like 2 years or something to get good at modeling hands. Because like, they were notorious at being difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't have to worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You just scan one in now.
You just scan one in. That's the thing. Like you just scan it in. And, like that's the thing. Nobody needs to know how to model an ear anymore.
Well, I'm worried one day someone's going to go through all those museums with all those swords and shit, and they're just going to scan those bad boys, and I'll be like...
I remember talking to you about this, and it's like, dude, you don't have to worry about that because they're all busted.
Yeah, they are all busted. They're all busted swords. So
yeah, they're all.
They still need someone like me to like make the what it would.
Yeah, you need
like if it was new.
Yeah, you need the fresh out of the factory Roman sword, not like it's been sitting in the Mediterranean Ocean for like yeah.
Yeah.
This one's oxidized.
Yeah, they're all oxidized, and you're like, this is a terrible sword. Yeah. So that is like the announcement trailer, I guess. We should probably wrap this up. It's like,
is that now?
Yeah, it's just been an hour.
Can we talk about Godzilla?
I mean, we can, dude. I watched Kong versus Godzilla. It's pretty ridiculous and pretty great.
Is that the new one?
Yeah.
You went to the cinema?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I saw.
Yeah, I went to. Dude, I don't want to brag, but like, man, New Zealand, we've been going to the cinema for like ages.
Yeah.
Nobody, like, I'm sitting right next to people. Nobody's like.
No masks.
No masks.
Huh.
I'm coughing. Nobody looks at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Here in New Zealand.
It is good.
We did have that one lockdown though recently.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had on and off lockdowns, but it's only Auckland.
Oh yeah.
Which is the thing I forget. Like I had family staying around, and like I started talking about, oh man, that last lockdown, and they're like, what are you talking about? Because they don't live in Auckland. Yeah, so they haven't had a lockdown since the actual like countrywide one like a year ago.
Cities, man.
Yeah.
Cities.
It's not natural.
Festering hive of illness. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess we'll wrap this up. How does Nick normally end stuff? I don't even know.
We're on social media.
We're on social media. We're on
the World Wide Web.
Yeah, we're on the World Wide Web. What's our
HTTP
email?
/
What's our email is frontseatquestions@gmail.com. We're on YouTube at YouTube/frontseatcast.
Yep. People can search for it.
People can search for it. If you just Google Front Seat Gamer, we come up.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe. Hit that bell. Follow us on Twitter. What else do people say? We're not on TikTok. We're not on TikTok yet.
Yep.
Have you done any twitching?
No
over
Telegram.
To the mouse and smash that cheek onto that click and
Yep.
Give us all the thumbs.
Yep. Give us a good thumbs up. Like this
video.
This video. Yeah. Give us a thumbs up. Occasionally we've gotten thumbs down.
Oh wow.
I don't know what's going on with that.
Probably not enough Path of Exile talk.
Probably not. No. I don't know. Maybe it's you being like, we didn't talk about Red Dead.
Shit might be.
Or Nick being like, we didn't talk about Zelda this time.
Or
thumbs
idle
down.
games.
Yeah. Or idle games. I haven't played any more idle games that Nick. I downloaded like about 6 of them after Nick's request. He just sent me a whole list. I've played one and I have not played any others.
He didn't link me anything.
Because he knows that you will not play any of them.
Smart.
Yeah. Like I don't like I said to him, right, you need to like pick the perfect idle game for Severn. And I don't think he can do that. Yeah.
Because it's an idle game.
Because it's an idle game.
And
it's the very premise of the game is like you don't want to play it. Yeah. All right, cool. So that's it for today. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Maybe Nick will be back. I don't know.
Nick will be back.
Maybe Nickelback. Maybe we'll have some Nickelback. He'll probably get us to look at a photograph of his newborn. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for coming, Dane.
Yeah,
it's been good chatting with you. Your stuff on Demon Souls is so interesting. It's so like weird.
It's very weird.
Yeah. So cool, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time. All right, bye. That's what he does. Is that long bye? Bye. Bye. We're done. If you had like a skill gem that like it doesn't actually like it doesn't give you any like crazy like fireballs or anything like that. It's just like stances. So it's
Dude,
like you
I'd
have a
be
skill
all
gem
about
that's just
that
like
shit.
I don't know.
The more skills that
Defensive
don't let me
stance or
just
something.
cover the screen in, as much as I love the effects.
Yeah, I know.
I'm there was a part in the trailer where I was like, all right, this seems like the good amount of spam. Can we keep it here?
This is low level, man. Wait until
Like I'm looking at just lightning bullshit, all these like million skeleton horses and all sorts of crap on the screen. I'm like, all right, this is good.
Dude, you've seen.
I think this is
This is about the limit.
This is about the limit you want to go to. I think
You've seen.
I have seen. I've seen
how far it gets. Like,
yeah, I've seen it.
You see those high level players, and it's like this game is unrecognizable. It's just neon glow everywhere, and everything dies.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Feature or flaw?
I mean, it's a feature, but it's like
I wouldn't say.
I don't know, man.
I don't think anyone planned for that.
It's cool.
That's a side effect.
That's where you're wrong, man. I think a lot of people are playing.
Yeah, like it's really cool because you've built up to it. So like they see it, they don't see it as like a crazy neon mess. They understand what every little part is doing. But
that's funny.
But I just come in and see a fucking glowing screen and like
I think
no
they
idea what's happening here.
they see every little part.
Yeah?
But I think if you just to troll people had all those packs of monsters, and then you just had some weird bullshit where half of them are just immune to this damage,
Yeah.
they would be like, "What the fuck is going on?" They'd be running through and they'd kill the screen, and half the screen's still there, and be like, "What?"
Yeah.
But that's poor planning.
Yeah.
If it doesn't account for half, then they're fucked up.
Then they'll come in and be like, now I've got more glow, and now I do kill half.
And I got chaos damage on this.
Yeah, that's the thing. Everything's chaos damage, so they just kill everything no matter what.
Right.
Yeah, I think these guys want to break the game.
Yeah,
that's the most brokenest.
It's weird though because I was looking at all all the Reddit posts and the YouTube posts, and there's a lot of fuckers that are like, dude, please make endgame like this, like keep it to this. Like there was a lot of people that hate, like still like they actually don't like it. But it's kind of, it seems like there's a split to me. I'm seeing a bit of a split.
I wonder if a microtransaction that
removes the fixture.
de-affects things. Would be good.
It's more of the.
There's one that's like extra gore. What if it's like less gore, less effects?
To me, it's more of the people liked in the trailer, the gameplay stuff where they were focusing on these combos and synergy, like where you do this skill and then this one. But if it becomes one click kill screen, all that stuff disappears, and you're not thinking or doing anything anymore. It's kind of like people kind of liked that whole do this one skill, and if you stay and do it again, you
don't get that for free though. You have to work in order to get that.
Yeah. But if it
kill all screen,
that kill all screen, that is like the toppest players. Like that's not the average.
It's a lot of work.
I've never.
It is a lot of work, but it always kind of ends up the same no matter what skill it is. If it's the tornado thing or if it's the arrow thing, it kind of always ends up the same function of click button, boom, whole screen. And I don't know. I personally don't like it, but I've actually seen a lot of comments just recently that basically the same. So I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of a split where some people kind of like the slower pace where they can sort of think a little bit about what's going on. But there are those people that are always going to be like, "Fucking dude, don't let me nuke this shit."
Yeah.
I just want a way to make it visually less.
Well,
if they're gonna do it.
Yeah. That's the artist coming out.
Yeah.
But you can't stop it.
Yeah.
I think it comes with the genre.
Right.
I don't know how crazy like D2 got.
It didn't
get that crazy.
Okay.
That's why to me it's like Pee-wee just kind of got out of control.
Yeah.
And then people adjusted to that, and then, they just sort of, I don't know.
That is like power creep and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Like effects creep and speed creep, power creep.
All the creeps.
All the creeps.
All the creeps.